Good day, ladies and germs. I'm going to show you in this video how to set up Atom with ESLint. ESLint is a program that can tell you if you have errors in your JavaScript code without actually having to run it. And there's a plugin for Atom that will let you see it in your code editor before you run it. In case you've never seen this before, this will save you a bit of time. Let's get going on it. So the first thing that we need to do is install Node. Node is a program that lets you run JavaScript outside of a browser on your computer. It comes bundled with a program called NPM, which allows you to connect to a vast repository of existing code and import it into your project willy-nilly. There's an alternative to NPM called Yarn, which has been gaining traction and in my opinion is better than NPM. And that's the one that we're going to use in this video. I will also show the command for NPM, but I'm going to be using Yarn. Both Yarn and NPM and ESLint are command line tools. We need NPM and Yarn to NPM or Yarn to install ESLint in the first place on our machines, which we will then use later to configure our linting settings later on. The linting settings that we can choose from go between things that are errors and things that are merely style preferences, such as using a single quote versus using double quotes for strings. Preference, semicolons, preference. Well, except for the very few circumstances where they're mandatory. So this is the Node website. I just wanted to make sure you knew what it looked like. This is at nodejs.org, and they have builds available for pretty much all the major platforms. The one for Linux has a snap available, or you can install a PPA for it for Ubuntu or Debian and stuff like that. Yarn looks like this. I'm showing you these sites so that you don't get lost and download something dumb. I will put the links to these websites in the description, but for the reference via audio, the first one is nodejs.org, and Yarn is available at yarnpkg.com. So after following the directions to install the Node and or Yarn, if you want to, you will need to open up a terminal to install ESLint. If you haven't yet installed Node and you're following along with this video, pause it now, go ahead and do that first. But well, let's keep going. So the way that you install a package, particularly ESLint, is you'll type npm install -g ESLint. However, if you're using Yarn, that command will be yarn global add ESLint. I'm running on Linux, so I need to add sudo to the beginning to install this package globally. If you're on Windows, I don't believe you need to do it. So let's get this installed. And here we go. Looks good. There are a couple ways to get ESLint set up. The way that we're going to do it is on a per project basis in this video. So first we need to go to our directory that has our project. Mine is in workspace/existing project. And then we need to create our package.json file. There are a couple wizards, for lack of a better word, that you can use. You can use npm init, or you can do yarn init. When running it, it'll then ask you a series of questions about your project, like what's its name. The stuff in the parentheses is the default value, so if you just hit enter, you get that value. Description, a very interesting project, because it is, more or less. Anyway, but you keep going through this wizard and type the answers for your project. This will get the base file available for your for you to edit later if you want manually. And yes, private. And then so then you can edit that file later. The next thing we'll need to do now that we've created this is to create our ESLint file. It'll be the same process. We'll run a wizard using ESLint. In this case, it's ESLint --init, and answer a few questions. And ESLint, it's common for people to have it set up to manage your style as well as your actual code errors. What I'm going to do is delete basically whatever it is this file generates anyway, but it's still useful. ES 2015 for the ECMAScript 6 standard. I am not using ES6 modules. I wish I were. I'm running this in the browser. Do I use CommonJS? No, probably should. No. I prefer spaces, not tabs. And I prefer double quotes. And I prefer Unix line endings. Do I require semicolons? No, JavaScript doesn't require them, and so neither do I, except for in certain circumstances. And as far as this is the file format that I want to edit my configuration in, and I prefer JSON myself. And now we should have those files created. Alright, so now we have those files created. You can see here on the left, well, you probably can't unless you have a really big monitor and really good eye vision, and I mixed the video to be at a higher quality than I probably ended up doing. Anyway, the first one is .eslint.rc.json, and here is the file that we generated with our ESLint command. It has our rules, indentation, line break, style. I don't actually care about any of these, so I'm getting rid of them. Okay. And then we have our package.json. And that's all that looks like. So now we are ready to install that plugin. To install our plugin, we need to go to the package install view. Let's see, install package, settings view, install packages and themes. Okay, so our package is actually called ESLint. I think it's linter ESLint, but I'm just going to type ESLint in search. And we wait. That doesn't look right. How about linter ESLint? There we go, linter ESLint. And after this is done installing on our machine, we will need to install a bunch of dependencies for the project as well. And that'll begin it'll prompt us to install them as soon as it's done installing. Okay, finished installing, and so now it wants us to install linter. Yes, we want that. And linter UI default. Yes, we want that. Oh, we don't need that. Sign up. And then we want the last two. Intentions and busy signal. Yes. Okay, we're golden. We have them installed. Let's see if it shows up. Oh, it doesn't like something about this. So the way that you can get your errors is one, you should be able to hover over it. In my case, it's not letting that work. So the other way is to use the linter view down here. And it's telling me that I broke the ESLint JSON file. Oops. Oh, I see. I did break it. My bad. Okay. And it doesn't update. To update, you can close and reopen. Great. Looks like it's working. More or less. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to configure your rules to make sure that they are telling you what you want to actually care about knowing. So when I mouse over that, it shows me the errors. You see how it says no dash unused vars at the end? I personally don't think that's an error. I think that's more of a warning. So we go to our ESLint JSON, go to the rules, and we type no unused vars. And then we have to give it our value. In this case, we want it to warn us instead of tell us it's an error. Okay. Let's go back, see if it worked. It has not yet updated. Close it, open, and it's turned yellow. It's now a warning. That's good. However, we also notice how this says no console logs. I'm okay with having console logs in my code, especially in this project being a demo. So I want to go back here, add no console, and turn that off. By the way, the other settings are error, and you can, yeah, actually that's the only other setting. However, instead of using words that make sense, you can use numbers and be confused later. So 0 would be to turn it off, 1 is to warn, and 2 is for error. We want this off. Okay, we go back, close it, reopen, and voila. By the way, I think I noticed it seems to want me to hover at the very top to see it. If you don't see this at the top, you should be able to pop open this menu. If you don't get this menu right here, you should be able to type Control-Shift-P and linter UI default and toggle panel, and that should open it if you don't have it down there for some reason. And there you have it. With ESLint installed and active in Atom, you should be able to catch errors earlier and not have to go through that dreaded cycle of type, check, and back and forth nearly as much as you had to before had you not been using this. And I will be sure to leave some links of documentation for ESLint in the description. And with that, goodbye.